Hey there YouTube, this is Cardfight Chris coming to you with a deck profile of my new post BT12 Revengers. Now I know a lot of people play this deck different, they tend to have similar builds, but I play this deck just a little bit different and I'll explain why. And without further ado, let's go. For grade 0s, start out 4 heals. You gotta play heals. And there's my starter. Revenger, Claudus. I don't feel you need to play 2 in this deck because you always see Blaster Dark Revenger. I usually see 2 or 3 a game without having to use a skill. So there's that, and you always have Mordred Phantom, which can call them out. So it's a good starter, 5k Revenger, and you can also sack it for Raging Form, but it's not really that necessary for 2. So there's that. So 4 heals again. I play 9 crit, and the reason being is that Raging Form is a better deck in terms of if you can get a lot of crits and pressure, because Raging Form dwindles your opponent's hand, especially after you break ride, and you have a 21 column, meaning that if they're 11k Vanguard, they need a 15 guard to 1 pass. So crits just give a lot of pressure to your opponent, making sure that they if they're 4 damage and Raging Form's about to go off, if you can crit them at 4 because they don't guard, things like that. And not only that, but draws kind of make the deck bad eventually, because after you deck thin so much, you start to lose all your major units and have triggers in your deck, but you don't want to draw into those triggers. And I did it where I was playing 4 draws and 5 draws testing, and I always drew into triggers. I'd rarely draw into something I would need, and it's just better overall if you play 3 draws. Plus the 10k guard, it's a lot, a better defense in general. And then last out 3 of the new Revenger draw triggers. Definitely good to help with, if you can draw into some stuff, but it's not really good at 4 or 5, so. Next for grade 1s, let's go. 2, Revenger, Dark Bond Trumpeter, and what she does is Counterblast 1, choose a grade 0 from your deck and call it as rested, and then shuffle your deck. She's pretty decent. A lot of the time I do call draw triggers out if I absolutely have to. Sometimes really don't, but if I absolutely have to, she's a good card to play. And she's a 6k, which means that she makes pretty decent columns with your Revenger, Masquerade, 12k attacker, or your 10k attacker, so she's pretty decent. Next, Revenger 10k attacker. Definitely, pretty staple, good rush card. Definitely good booster, so it's a pretty good card. 4 Revenger P guards. I mean, you really don't need the regular Revenger ones, but I have them just because I just like the artwork better. Plus, I think he's smiling. I don't know if he's just smiling, so. Pretty much that's it. 4 no guard, you need it, break ride format. And then running off the best grade 1 in my opinion, Dorant. Now, Barrier Troop Dorant, what this card does is, if you have a Blaster Dark Revenger called in the same column as this unit, you can unflip a damage. This card plus Blaster Dark Revenger just has so many good combo plays and so many pluses that for the deck that, it's kind of bad to not run this card. And that's why I maximize at 4. I've seen a couple of builds where they made it at 3. Didn't think that it was that a great of idea, but this card is so good. And on top of that, you could always call this up front and call Blaster Dark Revenger. Appears in the same column, and you could just be that guy that says he appeared in the same column, but he's behind her. So, yeah. So that's running out the grade 1s. Grade 2s, my avatar. I have to play 4 of the Blaster Dark Revenger. This card is just so good. Counterblast 2, so long as you have a Revenger Vanguard, you can kill a front row. Definitely good. 9k base, pretty good. And, the combos again with Dorant, just really good overall. 4, 12k attackers. You got 12k attackers. I mean, there's not much to say there. Here's where it's going to change in, probably a day or 2. I'm playing 2 Tartus right now, but I think 3 might be the most optimal. But I was trying out 1 Rugos, and he seems to be good as a right target. I do see him every once in a while. I might just go to 3 Tartu though, because Tartu's busted in this deck. She is a better version of Maka, and on top of that, she's a 9k. So, overall, I'm probably just going to switch to 3. But as of right now, I'm playing Rugos. And now to the dangerous Great Threes. The best break ride, in my opinion, Mortar Phantom. People argue with this a lot. I don't really argue on this because it's just too good. If you want to argue, Bad End Dragger, definitely a good card, but you ride Bad on Dragger on type of Bad on Dragger, it's not the greatest. Daikaiser, the chances of you hitting that grade 3 to sack your opponent, a lot less than normal. Dauntless is good, but it's with Dote, so I mean, it's kind of uber mainstream. I don't know, that's just my opinion. Like, Dote is just good with that card, and you can't really. I mean, Dauntless is Dauntless, so I guess he's good too. But let's see what else. Ashley is not the greatest. Spinal Driver's decent. You know, I mean, overall, just this card, what it does. Kind of bless one, another grade 3 rides on top, plus 10k, and call something plus 5k. That opened up so many plays in this deck. Like, I was gonna play the Persona booster for Rating Form, and I probably will and take out one Dark Bond, but I can do so many dirty things with this, like Counter Blast 3 initially, because that's the total cost. Then you can get him 10k, call out a Tartu, plus 5k, and call out a Dorant. That's one of my favorite plays because it sets up so many things for next plays. On top of that, he just has to attack the Vanguard for to 13k, so pretty good card. So, and without further ado, the all-star of the deck for Raging Form Dragon, my personal avatar. I love this card ever since I saw it in the anime, like 4 months ago, 3 months ago, whenever. This card is just so good. Finally, we get a Restanding Vanguard for Shadows. You know, I just love this card in general. Not only does its presence is initially high enough pressure to where your opponent's gonna wonder if you have the other copy, or you know, if they really want to let you attack during limit break for 4 damage, and you hit that crit. That's why I play 9 crit. So this card is just one of my favorite cards in the game. And yeah, so that's my deck profile, guys. Like, comment, subscribe. See what other things you might have me change about the deck. I do plan on showcasing my Dayusha updated Dimensional Robos. It's just a cross-ride version without Daikaiser, and I'll explain that in my next video. But as of right now, thanks a lot, YouTube. Thanks for watching. Peace out.